In this video, we're going to do a true to form Notion build with me. We're going to create a database from scratch, and this database is going to be a Pomodoro planner and tracker. What is Pomodoro? It is a method. It's a productivity method. It is a way of working and getting through projects in small chunks. Essentially, you're working for 25 minutes and then you're taking a break for 5 minutes or 10 or 15, however long you want your breaks to be. Ideally, they should be around 5 to 10 minutes. So in this database, what we're going to do is have the ability to plan out your Pomodoro sessions. And the reason why I call it a planner and a tracker is because the way I like to use this is to sort of plan the breaks, but track the sessions. I'm not going to tell myself to write an entire piece of content in 25 minutes, for instance. And then I will plan the breaks more closely so I have something to look forward to. So we're just going to create that database, and at the end, what I'm going to do is connect a tasks database to this Pomodoro planner if you want to connect a database that you already have to it. But yeah, let's just get right into it. So at the very top, what I have here is a tasks database. This is a mock-up. This is what we're going to use for me to show you how to connect a tasks database that you already have to this Pomodoro planner when we're done making it. This is actually a database I've used in a past video, actually my last video, where I showed you how to create a smart deadline formula. The first thing I'm going to do is create an inline table, and that's just going / inline table. I'm going to call it the Pomodoro planning sheet. And we have our name and tags to start. I'm going to rename tags to type. Make sure it is just one select property. We only need to see one at a time. And in this drop-down menu, I'm just going to have session and break. Kind of want break to be red. I'm going to rename name to what am I doing? The next property is going to be project. This is the project we're working on. And we'll just do some mock-up options. Project 1, project 2, and project 3. And let's throw in project 4 as well. The next two are going to be the time properties. So it's start time, when the session started, and we're going to make a date property and just make sure that we include the time when we put in those dates. One for end time, also a date property, and then those two formulas, one to find the total minutes, and this is just the total minutes spent on each session or break, and then I'm going to find the total hours. So this is just a preference for me. I do want to see both hours and minutes, but I'm mostly concerned with the hours. All right, so the last property is just going to be the archive checkbox for when we're all done working and want to just throw all of this away into an archive database view. Firstly, let's create another database view, and that's going to add a view and table, and I'm going to call it archive. So let's make this first and add a filter up here at these three dots, and I'm just going to go to filter, and I'm going to make sure the filter says archive is checked. I could also just turn this into a list because I don't need all of these other properties here for the archive. All right, now in default view, I'm going to rename this to today. So this is all the stuff, all of the sessions we do today. All right, that's pretty much all we need for that. Let's put in some mock-up entries and see how this works. Firstly, let's say there's a session. You're going to type out what you're doing during the session, what project you're working on, and let's say include time. You started working at 8 a.m. and stopped working at 8:25 a.m. Now the reason why I want to do this manually is because sessions don't always last 25 minutes. Sometimes I go to 30, sometimes I go to 40 minutes. So that's why I like doing this manually. Now to find the minutes, this is going to be automatic. We're going to use a formula property. So what I'm going to do is use the function date between and say date between property end time, so the one further away, and the start time, so property start time, in the number of minutes. Close that out and it will show us the number of minutes. Pretty simple. Let me just open that up again so you can take a look at it. Let's say there's a break and I want to plan for this break to walk the dog. And I want this break to be specifically about 15 minutes. So between 8:25 and 8:40. Now again, like I said in the beginning of the video, the reason why I don't like planning out my sessions is because let's say what I wanted to do in the first project was to work on the introduction and get started with an article. Now I don't know what roadblocks I'm going to be faced with this database or this idea I had in mind for an article, so I should not be planning for my second session yet until I know how much I got done in my first. Once I know that, then I can go and plan for my second session. So for instance, if I were faced with a roadblock, I couldn't figure out a certain formula, I'm going to put in for the next session, figure out formula. And if I happen to get more done than that, then that's great, but that is the objective. Maybe I came back a little bit late, so I started at 9 a.m. and I ended this at 9:35. It will show up as 35 minutes. Now let's worry about these hours. So what I want to do here is only if the property says session do I want to collect the hours. I want to completely ignore that break. So I want to say if property type equals session, then I want to find the date between, again like before, property end time and property start time. Now I don't want to find the number of hours, I actually want to find the number of minutes, and I'll show you why. I want to find the number of minutes and then I want to divide that by 60. Now because there's an if statement, I'm saying if this, then that. I have to have a false condition, so if this doesn't apply, I just want it to be a blank space. So a blank space in any other instance would just be 2 quotes, but I can't do that because this indicates a text property. And down here you see type mismatch, 2 quotes is not a number. I need it to be a number. To create an empty space that is a number, you're just gonna wrap those quotes with the function toNumber. And now, whenever there is a break, it will be empty, but whenever there is a session, it will collect the number of hours. Now the reason why I'm doing this date between minutes and then dividing it by 60 is because I want the number to look like this. So what I want to find here is a more exact number if the session is under an hour. So if I want to make this number a bit less intense, what I'm going to do is round this section over here where we're finding the date between, and I'm just going to wrap it around the round function and then end it over here at divide by 60. And then within this parentheses, I'm going to say 100 times the date property. And at the end here, I'm going to say divided by 100. So it'll look like this. Let me just highlight it for you. And then I'll be able to see a much cleaner number. So let's say I actually worked here from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. or 9:25. It will give me 1.42 hours. Okay, so why do I want this number? It's because I want to collect how many overall hours each project has been worked on. And I kind of want an exact number. Off camera, I'm going to fill out this database a little bit more, and I'll show you how you can collect the total hours from each project. Now what I want to do is find the total number of hours each project has accumulated. The best way to do this is to go /linked database, and we're going to link to the Pomodoro planning sheet. And I'm going to make sure that this is in Boardview, and that's going to add a view, make sure it's board. I'm going to delete the table view that the linked database comes with by default. Next, I want to group everything by project. Now, board views only work with select properties. That's why I chose to make these projects a select property. So let's say group by project. Now when I connect my tasks database, it's actually going to replace this project property here. So when we do that, this section is going to look a lot different. And actually, we're not going to use this at all. We'll be able to calculate the total number of hours within the tasks database itself. But if you're not doing that and you just want to use the database as is, this is how you can do it. Firstly, I want to get rid of a lot of these properties in the view. I don't want to see all of this here, so I'm just going to toggle a lot of them off. In fact, I just want to keep start and end time. Now, all of the entries that are no project, which is our breaks, I'm going to hide those so that the projects are flush to the left side. And then I'm going to click this number here, this gray number next to project 1. I'm going to go to sum, and I'm going to find the sum of hours. What this does, it returns the exact number of hours with that decimal point, because we made sure of that in here in the hours column. So here's another thing we can do. We can add a sort to make sure each one of these cards are sorted by the date. So what you did first. Let's sort it by the end time and sort it ascending. Okay, so within this hours formula, if you want to just find the total hours of everything, sessions and breaks, just put in this part of the formula here, this round to the divided by 100. And what will happen down here is instead of no project saying 0, you can actually find the number of hours you spent on breaks as well. Okay, now let's connect this to the tasks database. So instead of this select property, what I'm going to do is turn this into a relation. And in fact, I'm going to change the name project. I think better will be task. And what I'm going to do is go down to advanced and relation, and I'm going to search for the to-do list mockup. Once I've created that relation, I can actually come down here and delete this because we don't need it anymore, but we will be finding the same thing. So going to task, I can fill in what tasks from my database I'm working on specifically. Maybe I'm working on Obsidian plugins. All right, so now that we have this, let's find the total number of hours for each one. Let's start with Obsidian plugins. I believe this is in the archive. So I'll find that related to Pomodoro shows up, and I'm just going to rename this to sessions. These are all our sessions that got us to this complete task, which is pretty cool to look at. And if I click through this relation, I will also be able to scroll over and see the start and end times and the dates I actually worked on this. Now, if I want to find the total number of hours, I can just create a new property called total time spent. Turn it into a rollup. So go to property type, down to advanced, underneath relation is rollup. And what a rollup does is if you have a relation property, you'll be able to look into the database those relations are coming from. So relation, I will select an existing relation, which is only sessions. That's the only one I have. I want to find the property hours within that database. And then under calculate, I just want to find the sum. And then that's it. So let's go down to Craftify website. Looks like I spent 1.33 hours on this. I could also change the title of this instead of time to hours. It does the same exact thing as that Boardview, but it's all collecting inside of your tasks database. It's pretty straightforward, right? I think it's something that's super, super useful for my workspace. So hopefully it's useful for yours. Now, if you're done the day's work, a way to quickly move all of these sessions to an archive database view that we made before, what you're gonna do is just select this first checkbox, select and then drag down the entire column and press enter. If we go to archive, they will all show up here. I actually want to add another sort inside of here as well. That is end time ascending, or rather descending. This is so that everything that is most recently archived is at the top. I can also go to properties and make sure I can view the end time. So that's the time I stopped working on it. And then if I go back to today, I also want to create a filter. that make sure I do not see everything ticked archive. So they will disappear into the archived database view. So archived is unchecked. So that tomorrow I can come in here and just start creating new sessions within this planning sheet. And that's pretty much it. I'll leave all relevant links down below, and let's go right into the outro. I hope this was helpful for those who are more like beginners and just wanted some inspiration with Pomodoro method and implementing it into Notion. I will leave all the relevant links down below, templates. I'm going to leave that original template I showed you at the beginning that is not connected to a tasks database. And I'll show you the one that is connected as well. Both are available to duplicate, and all of those formulas will be easy to see and copy and paste if that's all you want to look at. And yeah, I will see you guys next week with another video and the rest of the week on Twitter. I will see you then.